Good morning, Otherworldlies. This is Juliana Angel, your Dark Mass Diva. How's everyone doing? Alright, now I'm going to talk about something that I feel is extremely important. This is something that's really, something I feel extremely passionate about, okay? Something very, that's weighing heavy on my mind. I really need to share it with you guys, alright? This is something also that is backed by Ask Nathaniel, the Billionaire Mindset. He also feels strongly about this. So if you want to go check out his show, he talks about this a lot also. Okay, but this is something I feel is extremely important. This is about being online as an influencer and about arguing. Okay. I'm personally, I'm to the point in my life where I am just resisting arguing. Okay, and just in general, in life in general. Now, I'm going to separate myself from Nathaniel for just a moment as a woman. I don't like to argue. Okay, I just don't want to argue, period. I don't like arguing with men. Okay? It's not feminine. I can have a differing opinion, which I often do. Okay? Because men and women do think differently. Our minds are different. Okay? We see things from a completely different perspective. But at the same time, I do not feel that it's conducive to argue with the opposite sex. Also, I don't like arguing with the same sex. I don't think it's becoming for women to argue with one another. How many times have you ever seen something get solved from two people arguing? What is that? I really don't see a point to it. And I'm gonna say one thing. A lot of times there's a teaching moment where somebody wants to say something on their social media platform. The person who comes to argue, who comes to agree to disagree, or play devil's advocate, the person who comes to argue, most of the time is wrong. So what they're actually doing is coming to just cause problems, okay? To disrespect the person who is trying to teach everybody, disrupt everybody, and just basically be a pain, throw the whole lesson off course, and just basically be an unwelcome intrusion. So they really should not be there in the first place. Their presence is unwanted. It's very disrespectful, and it's really killing everybody's vibe, basically. The thing about arguing is most of the time it really just is inconducive, period, to just to anything good. It's really negative is what it is, okay? Most of the time arguing is just a bad thing. It's very low. When things are high vibrational and low vibrational, most of the time, I'm not talking about a debate, like a presidential debate or the debate team at school. I'm talking about an actual argument where people just want to be combative and argumentative, okay? If you're in a situation where somebody is trying to teach you something, all right, don't argue. When you're playing devil's advocate, that isn't cute. If you're trying to be funny, it's not funny. You're just being snotty. I mean, there's nothing funny about it. Nobody thinks it's particularly clever, and that person is trying to make a statement where they're teaching you something. They're trying to enlighten a group. And a lot of the time, when somebody's expressing something, it's their personal truth. It's not yours to argue. It's their personal truth. So there's no reason for you to say something in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So for you to say something is irrelevant. There's no reason for you to argue. So I mean, you're showing your ignorance. You're showing what you're doing is you're actually alienating that person. and I'm getting to the point where I'm on social media, and there's a teachable moment, and I say something. I get a lot of likes, loves, wow, right on, thank you for this, and then I'll get somebody who really just misses the point, that's not getting blessed by the message, where they maybe that person just has let me fix this, a socially, sorry if you were enjoying that too much, a socially awkward moment or something like that, and they, devil's advocate, well, it seems like you're missing the point. If somebody says too many silly things like that, and they don't understand what I'm trying to do, I just kind of put unfollow or unfriend or something like that, so that person quits throwing the vibe off for everybody else, so they don't ruin things, for other people. But mostly because it's just disrespectful. I don't want that person as a friend or a follower, if they're going to do that. And that might be someone I've known for a long time, but they don't need to be on my page if they're doing that. Because they're kind of ruining something I was trying to do for everybody. A way that I was trying to bless everybody was something that I realized, like, ooh, epiphany, here guys, here's something I realized, or maybe it was just a personal truth that I wanted to share with everybody, and that person was just kind of trying to kill the vibe. It's like, wow, that was something kind of neat. I wanted everybody to know. So, let me tell you about argumentative people. Okay, it's not coming from a happy, healthy place. Why are people arguing? Okay, I'm going to talk about being a former drug addict. Drug addicts aren't happy people. They are in a constant state of malcontent. Okay, people do drugs so they can get away from that feeling. Okay, that's the same way argumentative people feel. Okay, they always want to bicker and cause a disruption with other people. All right, those are the same people that numb the pain with drugs. It's the same type of people. Okay, and so as a former drug addict, I recognize that behavior, because I've been around other addicts in recovery, and they have those personality traits. I'm like, ooh, okay, yeah, I see that, and they want to pick arguments with people, and they're unhappy because they don't have that drug numbing that, numbing the malcontent inside them. They're unhappy. I'm going to talk about the personality that does that. Okay. Some people feel they're getting like an unfair deal in life. I think all of us kind of feel like unfair stuff happens to us. I feel like a lot of unfair stuff happened to me. And a lot of unfair stuff has happened to me, right? But it's happened to you too, right? Like, a lot of unfair stuff happened to everybody. I'm not saying more unfair stuff has happened to me, although a lot has. But that's having a victim mentality, right? So, who am I to say my life is more unfair than the next person's? It's more unfair than it needed to be, but who am I to say it's more unfair than yours, right? Right? So, some people look at it like they're assuming their life is more unfair than yours, just by looking at you. But by looking at me, you have no idea how unfair my life really is, right? You have absolutely no idea. Just by looking at you, I have no idea how unfair your life is, unless you're going around complaining about it. Or otherwise, I wouldn't know. Some people wear their pain, and some people don't. So I have people trying to argue with me, assuming that my life is so much easier than theirs. Well, maybe in some ways it is, but in so many ways it is not. But some people have this mentality, like they are getting the world's worst unfair shake in life. So they just are angry, and they're just kind of like, Juliana Angel's life is so much better than my life. She has this, that, and the other going. Okay, no, my life is really, really hard. My life has always been hard. It's always been a struggle. I've always, had to contend with all this stuff. That's always just been so hard, okay? I just don't complain about it. Because it's like, okay, well, I need to just get up and deal with it, right? Okay, but before I felt like I needed to be sedated to deal with all of it. But I overcame that. Next month, it'll be 4 years that I'm clean and sober. So that'll be like 4 whole years that I've done it, right? Without being sedated. So I overcame that all by myself with God's help. So, but there's these people that they still have that mentality like life is so unfair to them. So they feel like they're mad at me because I'm not angry. So they want to just be combative about it. Like, they don't understand why I have this opinion, and they just want to challenge you. And they just want to bring the vibe down. And I'm like, what I could do is I can stay happy about what I've discovered about my personal truth, and I can like block, delete, or just say I'm sorry you feel that way. And just refuse to argue with him. Because you can just become one of those people that doesn't argue anymore. You can say, I'm this age, or I'm this like chill person that's just chill and zen and just like spiritual now, or whatever you feel like you are right now, that you're just like, you just feel like that's just not you anymore, that you just don't get mad anymore. You're just like, I've discovered this, that, and the other, and I don't get mad at stupid stuff anymore. I'm just not going to get in arguments anymore. Like, I've decided that I want to be married, and I'm not going to have a marriage where I argue with my husband. I don't want an argue with my husband marriage. I don't want to have relationships like friendships where I argue with my male friends. And then I thought, you know what? I don't want to have relationships where I argue with my female friends. And I don't want to have situations where I feel like I have to explain myself to people. You know what? I really don't want to argue with anyone. That's when I realized I don't want any arguments with anybody. I'm like, I really don't have to argue with anyone, do I? I'm like, you know what? I'm really just not angry. I'm not angry. I'm like, but other people are still angry. But I don't have to be angry anymore. And it's like, if they want to be like that and act stupid, I can just be like, I just really don't think we can be friends anymore, because all you have to do is like bring anger to the table all the time. Like, you need to stop being angry. Or else we just can't chill anymore, like, because you're just like, your vibe is so bad. You can just choose not to be around people like that, and choose to live your life without arguing with people, because they're so miserable inside, because they have this mentality like everything is so unfair to them, like nothing bad ever happens to anybody else. Yeah, right. So many bad things happen to me, you guys. Like if you think I'm wise at all, how do you think I got like that? Not by having like such a happy life, trust me. You live and you learn. That's how you get smart. You go through stuff, it's just kind of like, wow, how do you think I arrived at all these conclusions? I've been through stuff, but I just choose not to be angry. You make that conscious choice not to be mad anymore. You grow, you learn, you become a better person. All these people are like trying to challenge the stuff I say. I go, okay, that's my truth, so why don't you just put your own truth on your own page? Or speak your own truth. My truth isn't something you challenge, because it's my truth. I'm an existentialist, so my truth is my truth. And what good ever really did come from arguing anyway? Who came up with that nonsense that it was okay? Someone tell me who came up with that. Like, I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, who decided that stuff was cool? It's not. Just saying. I mean, arguing just makes you feel so ugly inside. And so unhappy. Why do you want your stress level up like that? Why do you want it to where, like, you just can't get along with people? And, like, you wake up one day and you're like, I wonder why no one likes me. Maybe because you argue with them and you're wrong anyways. That's why no one likes you. Because you just can't be happy about anything. It's like you can't function without getting mad over everything and arguing about stuff that's somebody else's truth and not yours. I mean, just showing everybody how, like, ignorant you are. So if you make the conscious decision to just respect people and not argue with them, how about that? Just think about it. Is it really worth the argument? Half the time, it's not worth arguing with someone. And the thing you're going to do things your own way anyway. Right? Why do you need to convince them that your way is the right way? Because your way is the right way for you. My way is the right way for me. And Zen's way is the right way for him. And everybody has the right way that is the right way for them. Why do you need to convince somebody to be you? Why do you need to get mad at somebody because their truth is their truth? Why is that such a big deal to you? And arguing is just bad for you. It's okay to feel passionate about something, but arguing is really bad for you. It's just really bad. Nobody really wants to be around you. It just shows a lack of emotional stability. You just don't have emotional regulation when you're always mad and arguing with people. There's something, you're emotionally unstable when you're like that. It just shows there's something unbalanced about you. And people that do that, you're just I'm gonna get rid of you. So I hope you're not trying to argue with me, because I'm just chill, you know. I just don't want to be around that. I'm too busy, like, getting along with people. You know, like, your truth is your truth and my truth is my truth, and, like, you know, like, peace and all that, you know, just chill. So, like, you know, we need to respect each other. That's what it's all about, is respect. You know, I'm that kind of gangsta. Gotta respect people. So you stop respecting people, what happens? You know what happens. Nothing good. You need to respect people. Something wrong with people that don't respect other people. If you don't respect other people, where is that coming from? If you don't respect other people, where did that start? You don't respect yourself. You don't have any boundaries. Okay, you know where that comes from? If you don't have any boundaries? Trauma. I don't want to be around anyone who doesn't have any boundaries. That's really dangerous. Think about that for a minute. Think about how dangerous that is, to be around someone who doesn't have any boundaries. That is really scary. So I don't want to be around any argumentative type of people. And I think that's what I have to say about that. So these argumentative people need to just they need to go take their arguments and go sort themselves out. Yeah, they can just stay away from me now. And arguing's bad for you guys. And don't tolerate arguing. Just be chill. Be sensational. Have the billionaire mindset. People with a billionaire mindset aren't trying to argue, they're trying to learn. They aren't trying to learn, they're learning. They don't have to try. Because they're not arguing, they're listening. Alright, otherworldlies, everybody, you have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.